Namaste to all. How are you? 4D Inducers are back with the first official video. After 2019, all of the world got shook by the coming of the Covid-19 virus. No one was ready for this. Millions of people got affected. Things changed and so does our way of living. A salute to all the doctors and nurses working out day and night, to all the police and army personnel for curbing Covid protocols, to all scientists and engineers working to make vaccines, testing kits and other suitable technologies, and to all of you for providing your contribution in whatever way possible for the fight against Covid-19. Said so, we will try to show some of the science and technology related works that are being used to cope up with the difficulties in Covid times. In this video, we will try to showcase how different types of sensors are helping us in various ways in this Covid era. The video will come in two parts, covering various sensors like IR thermometer, oximeter, sensing mask, fiber optic sensors, RT-PCR, etc. So let's start with our first sensor on the list. You all know about thermometers, isn't it? Okay, for those who don't know, basically it is a device used to measure the temperature of a body. Now talking about infrared thermometers, these can measure the temperature of a body from a distance. Isn't it cool? But how it works? Let's dive into the science behind it. It is based on the phenomena of black body radiation, which states everybody around us has some energy and they emit electromagnetic radiation. And as shown in the spectrum, as we increase the temperature, their internal energy increases. Talking about our body, it emits infrared radiations, and the temperature of our body is detected by an IR thermometer by detecting the amount of infrared radiations coming out of it. These IR radiations are collected with the help of a lens. It is then focused on a thermopile. Thermopile is a device used to measure temperature in the form of heat and then converts it into electricity. Using proper signal conditioning circuits, we can detect this electricity and show it on the temperature scale by appropriate calibration. These IR thermometers are extensively being used in this Covid era. Measuring temperature from distance avoids any physical contact, thus avoiding the spreading of the Covid virus. Moving next, we have pulse rate oximeter. Many of us heard about this in the second wave of Covid-19, and it was being used to measure the oxygen saturation level of our body. But the question is, how? And why is this oxygen coming into the picture? As we know that we need oxygen for our survival, we inhale it from our surroundings and reaches to different parts of our body with the help of blood. In blood, a protein named hemoglobin is responsible for carrying oxygen, and if this protein lacks oxygen, then it is called deoxyhemoglobin. So, more the oxygenated hemoglobin, the more is the percentage of oxygen in the blood, and thus more is the saturation level of our body. Another important property of blood is that oxygenated hemoglobin absorbs more infrared light than red light, and deoxyhemoglobin absorbs more red light than infrared light. Keep this fact in mind as it will help you in understanding the working of pulse rate oximeter. Now coming to the working of pulse rate oximeter, it contains two light sources, one emits infrared and another one emits red light. Our finger is kept in the case and these light sources emit lights. On the other end, a receiver is there which receives the lights coming through our finger. So consider a case in which at the receiver end, red light is more than the infrared light. That means infrared light has been absorbed more by the finger than the red one. Thus amount of oxygenated hemoglobin is more in the blood. In the second case, if infrared light is more at the receiver end, then red light has been absorbed more. So deoxygenated hemoglobin level is more in the blood. Next in the list is pathogen sensing mask. A team of researchers from Wyss Institute, Harvard and MIT have made a mask that can detect the presence of Covid-19 SARS virus in a human breathing. The mask contains some frozen and dried components of enzymes which are used in the process of detecting viruses. These components get activated when they come into contact of water. There is a button fitted on the mask. When the person presses that button, the water is released into the sensing part of the mask. This activates the frozen components present there. If some virus is present over there, then first it breaks into RNA, then by the help of reverse transcriptase enzymes, it is converted into double-stranded DNAs. After that, these DNA complexes are opened by the recombinase enzyme. Finally, they are tested with some other reagent, and if they give fluorescent color, then they contain COVID virus. The researchers are trying to incorporate this sensing technique into various clothing items like jackets and other wearables. Although this research is in the experimental phase, it is believed to have potential in the fight against COVID. We all know about the harmful effects of ultraviolet light coming from the sun, like sunburns, tans, global warmings, etc. So we hate UV rays. Wait there. You may change your mind after listening that it can kill COVID-19. Yes, you heard it right. Recently, DRDO came up with a UV-based disinfectant. Let's know a little more about it. In the electromagnetic spectrum, UV radiations range from 10 nanometer to 400 nanometer wavelength. Further, UVs can be classified as UVA, UVB, UVC and UV vacuum. Although UV rays can kill germs and viruses, UVC is the best in them. Device made by DRDO uses the same UVC radiations to kill viruses. These UVs can deactivate the DNA of viruses, hence making them dormant. Based on this principle, DRDO has made several equipments like paper disinfectant, notes cleaner, automated luggage disinfector and UV sanitizers. Now next on the list is underground fiber optic sensor. This was used to detect the surface movements of traffic, industrial and human activities. Data was collected from the before, during and after lockdown time, and various patterns were observed. Like just after lockdown opening, industrial work started soon as compared to the vehicle movement. That suggested that people were more comfortable working from home and skeptical about moving out. The human movement also reduced after the lockdown period. Researchers of this project think that their research can be useful in understanding the impact of COVID-19 on human activities. But what is the technology behind this? Actually, they use distributed acoustic sensing system. This involves fiber optic based instruments which uses fiber cables to sense any acoustic disturbance along its length. The distributed acoustic system sends out a pulse of light into the fiber optic cable. Due to some disturbance like by sound or physical vibrations due to movements on the ground or temperature variations, etc., makes the lights to change its path, and it's called as backscattered light. The backscattered light then returns to its source. After that, it is sampled appropriately and data is extracted from it regarding the source of disturbance. So here the fiber optic cable acts as a sensing device. That's all for this time. We hope you are not going back empty-handed and you gained some knowledge about various sensors being used in COVID-19. Although the list is long, and we will come back with the part 2 of this video with more interesting sensors for you. Till then, be safe, take care. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Namaste.